I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. People, the Warthog experiments continue. I'm going to talk about two very special Warthogs. But before I do, Max Whitaker and Cindy, I want to say happy 43rd wedding anniversary. We've missed it by, it was a day ago. He just let me know about it. But I want to say happy anniversary to Mac and Cindy. I love Mac, he's great. I haven't spoken to Cindy before, but Cindy, you got a great man, and happy anniversary. So if you guys want to throw Mac and Cindy a happy anniversary in the comments section, that would be really terrific. Mac has been on the bus for a really long time. He's a good guy. All right, so let's get to the today's review. Up until this year, every year I'm you know what Chase the Heat is? It's a quest to find the hottest pepper, and every year I do. Every year and every season, there's going to be the hottest pot of that season. So really, the quest is, I have victory every year because every year I find the hottest pepper of the season. For the last three seasons, the hottest pod that I've eaten has been the chocolate primatale. It's a wicked hot pepper, and pepper enthusiasts, pod eaters. Listen, there are a lot of people that love hot spice. There's no contest and there's no judgment ever here, but there are pod eaters, the people that do what I do, and eat whole peppers. And I don't know any of those pod eaters in the past 3 years that have disagreed with me. Everybody that I know that eats pods will tell you that the chocolate primatale is just a nightmare. And then along comes Matthew Arthur. And I've known Matthew for many years. He sent me a box of pods, and in it was a pod that he created called the Warthog. Now, one of his grave peppers was called the Wartrix. What a Warthog is a Wartrix that's been crossed with a 7-pot Primo. And the result is the Warthog. So I've eaten several of them. They've all been ridiculously hot. One was just so much hotter than the others. Could have been a rogue pepper, I don't know. But that one in particular, look, my superpower isn't eating hot stuff, which I'm pretty good at. My superpower is being able to communicate still, be able to talk effectively and not lose my composure. And that went out the window on that one particular pod. It was just it was just so surprising because I was sure before the video started. I did 2 different times. I did a comparison between the chocolate primatale, which was last year's hottest, and a Warthog. In one, I ate the Warthog first, and then ate the chocolate primatale, and the Warthog was hotter. And the second time, I reversed it. I ate the chocolate primatale first, and then the Warthog was hotter. So I don't need a lot of convincing, it's just the hottest pot I've ever eaten. But in the box that he sent me most recently, these came in it. Now there's 2 different phenotypes for the Warthog. This is a Warthog purple to red, so it's a different color variant. All right, it looks like a red pod, but it's a purple to red Warthog. And then there's this one, the yellow Warthog. And I'm just a gigantic fan of yellow peppers. I think that yellow and orange, they're fruitier. Sometimes they have citrus notes. It's really fun. It's been such an exciting season. I haven't been so excited about peppers, in particular the Warthog. I felt like this when like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when I had my first primatale. I was just like, it changed at that time. It changed my concept of hot. I haven't eaten a lot of peppers. I thought I had a pretty firm handle on what hot was. And then that one in particular, man, that just changed the game for me. My whole concept of hot changed. And for a person, listen, if you've never eaten a whole lot of peppers and you eat something hot, I get it. I've eaten thousands of peppers. And that just absolutely blew my mind. The hottest thing, I don't mean like that much hotter. I mean, it was so significantly hotter than anything else I'd ever eaten. It was stunning. I couldn't shake it. The entire day I was thinking about it. I thought about it when I went to bed at night. Anyway, so now I got these. I'm really, really excited to see them, what they're going to be like. My theory is this is going to be a hotter one, and this was going to be less hot, but just so excited about them. I'm going to cut them open first. Mac and Cindy, though, I hope you guys have a great day. You know, 43 years. Mac is really a good dude, so I'm happy that for you guys. And I hope you have a spectacular day. I hope a lot of people wish you a happy anniversary in the comment section. So I'm going to cut these open, take a look at them, and I'm going to show them to you. Boy, what a pretty pepper. Quick picture for the gram. If you guys have not checked out my Instagram, I would urge you to do that. You'll see a lot of close-up pods and better pictures of pods on the Instagram than you'll get here. So please check out my Instagram. All right, you ready? I'm going to show you the red one first, or the purple to red Warthog. It's a beautiful shape. It kind of has some Wartrix quality to it, but makes sense since it's part Wartrix. But look at the inside of this. You know what? Here's half of it. All right. The very, very interesting thing about that one in particular that just blew my mind. Let me show. I didn't give you much of a look on that one. The one that really shocked me, and it's the hottest thing, like so by far than any other pepper I'd ever eaten. I cut them both open. If you want to go to my Instagram and look at it, the chocolate primatale was so loaded with oils, like capsaicin oil. It was like little tributaries all over the inside. I was like, golly. And it was twice as big as the Warthog was. And then I opened up the Warthog, and it didn't even look, honestly, it didn't even look that intimidating. You couldn't see lots of oils. The placenta or pith wasn't very large. Here's the interior of the yellow one. And how pretty is that? Right? Oh, super fruity aroma. It's interesting. This one does not have a strong aroma. This one, however, does. And this one has, I guess you gotta look for it, but slight citrus notes in this. Oh, my mouth is watering. It's ridiculous. All right, so we're gonna test these two. I'm gonna do the red one first, or should I do the yellow one first? I'm gonna do the yellow one first. All right, so this is my first ever yellow Warthog. Thank you, Matthew and Carly. You guys are awesome. I am Johnny Scoville, and this is JC. It was very, very fruity and really juicy. I didn't pick up any citrus notes. There were no floral notes. Somebody asked me recently to kind of describe fruity. It's a hard thing to describe. It's like a spectrum. Earthy is like on this end and fruity's on this end. This was a very fruity pepper. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to heat up. It's not a piping hot pepper. It has, it's climbing a little bit actually. One of the characteristics that I've noticed I've noticed in the phenotype 1, it's a tremendously aggressive climb. The burn is like just like that versus like this one here. The yellow one I just ate is doing this slowly, almost like a ghost pepper sort of build. It's starting to pick up a little bit. However, the phenotype 1, especially in that one particular day, I ate it, and within 5 or 10 seconds, I lost the plot. I'm not joking. It was just an insane pepper. Like it was surreal how hot it was. Now this one is still climbing a little bit, but it's not going to be a piping hot pepper. Now it's something, a theory it's a theory I've developed as the color. Because you have different colors. You have chocolate, red, orange, yellow. There's different, peach, mustard. There's all kinds of different flavors or colors. To me, as the color drains, the heat does. A good example, look like a ghost. If you do just like a chocolate ghost pepper, it's pretty strong flavored, right? Very earthy, very strong flavored. If you get white ghost pepper, it's still a ghost pepper, but the color's drained. It's white. It's not chocolate, and the flavor is way more subtle. Not nearly as strong as the chocolate. And so it's like that with yellow. The flavor is absolutely lovely. It's fruity. It's very, very tasty. The heat on it, I think it's probably gotten about as high as it's going to get. It doesn't have that super high and plateau effect. A plateau, the one thing that I've learned from the phenotype 1 for sure, and I've eaten more of them, granted, but the phenotype 1 will hit its peak and just camp out there for a while. Like it sets up shop, hangs its shingle, and it doesn't go anywhere for a while. Interesting. This one is not doing that. This one just kind of hit its peak and it's already on its way down. If you're a chili head, that's probably only going to be about maybe a 6. Some will call it a 5. If you were not a chili head, it'd be a piping hot. I mean, if you were not accustomed to chilies at all, this would, you'd have trouble with it. Super flavor though, really, really neat. Now, the aroma is so much more faint than the yellow one was. But here we go. This is the purple to red Warthog. You ready? Here we go. That was fruity as well. Not as fruity as the yellow one was. And that one is not nearly as hot as the phenotype 2 that I've had or the phenotype 1. But it's hotter than the yellow, it's climbing. It's going to be nowhere near the heat that the phenotype 1 was. And people have been asking, well, why is one hotter than the other? People, that's how peppers are. I mean, seriously. I think there's a misconception that a lot of people have that if you have like let's go, let's go with the ghost pepper. They're around 900,000 Scoville for a really hot one, but let's just say for the sake of matter, they're 1 million, okay? Just for the sake of this little analogy I'm gonna give you. If you had a plant and they were covered with million Scoville ghost peppers, most people would think that every single one of them is gonna taste the same and will be 1 million Scoville. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You can have, I've said it before, you can pull 2 pods from the exact same plant. You'll have different flavors sometimes and different flavor profiles and different levels of heat. That's the way it is. Even a lot of people that are not really, wouldn't consider themselves chili heads, have come across the rogue jalapeno. They say that 1 in 10 is gonna light you up. I've experienced that. I've experienced it with Fresno, banana peppers, apparently this as well. The flavor on the purple to the red was really neat. It was, I think it was a little bit more fruity flavored than just the phenotype 1. The heat is still building, but it wasn't nearly as aggressive a climb as the phenotype 1 or 2. But it's getting hotter. They both tasted so good. I think the yellow was better tasting, purely for flavor, because if that's all you're looking at. It's because it was fruitier. The yellow pods are just like that. But the purple to red Warthog was really delicious too. The burn, like I wish every chili I could have experienced that when I had that one day. That was just mind-blowing. Like it hung with me for 2 hours. I couldn't stop thinking about how bloody hot that thing was. The purple to red Warthog is going to be, chili heads would probably call it a 7 or 8. It's a lot warmer than the yellow one was. But it's a totally different burn characteristic than the phenotype 1. The phenotype 1 is just like an angry pepper. It's so much more of an aggressive burn. The purple to the red tasted great. It's still a really hot pepper, but it's nowhere near as hot as the phenotype 1 or some of the 2s that I've had. And it's peaked and it's already coming down. So that maybe that plateau effect, and it isn't a one-off, because I think every time I've had a Warthog, the phenotype 1, which is what everybody's going to be getting, you send into the description box, there's a link to Matthew Arthur's address. If you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to him, he is going to send you back some seeds of the hottest pepper I've ever eaten. And I can't be paid to say that. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't tell you. But all of those peppers, every time I've had one of those peppers, they've had this, it's a strange burn. It pulses. I'm not joking. It has this pulsating burn. These do need I did not experience that with the phenotype 2, I don't think. I certainly did not experience that with these 2 peppers. They peaked and came down, and the yellow one peaked. It wasn't nearly as hot, but the second they peaked, they started to go down. And that's a question I get a lot, is how do you know when it's peaked? I think it just comes from eating a lot of peppers, but pepper eaters can tell. If somebody who's done it for a while, it becomes something that you just become accustomed to, and you can identify it. And oftentimes I think the hotter the pepper, the more noticeable it is. Not so much when it peaks, but when it comes down. Because if it's really, really a scary hot pepper, the minute you have this much relief, you can tell it's on its way down. But the phenotype 1, it gets to that scary spot and just chills out there for a while. Like it wants to get your attention. It's true. It's really a crazy pepper. Those 2 are lovely in their own right. They're hot. The purple to red is, I'm trying to do a comparison. Really can't. Like I said, the purple or red would be a 7 or 8, and the yellow would be 5 or 6. But here's the thing, you know, there are people that only eat. I had somebody leave a comment once, and they said, "I love jalapeno, but that's the only pepper I like. Do you think I'm a chili head?" Yes, if you love jalapenos, it's not a contest. You don't have to sit down with a plate in front of you and have, in a chili eating contest to be called a chili head. To me, and I've said this before, chili head, it's about passion. If you're passionate about it, I was passionate about the Grateful Dead. I was a Deadhead. Jimmy Buffett, I've been a Parrot head. Well, I'm a chili head because I'm passionate about chili. So the reason I say that is you could have somebody who just loves jalapenos and they consider themselves a chili head. That yellow pod would be really, really hot if all you've ever had was a jalapeno. It would be hot. I mean, it would get your attention. The red one was hotter, but boy, they're just delicious peppers, and they really are. And the burn on those didn't last nearly as long. I'm almost back to baseline. All right. Now, if you're brand new at peppers, you wouldn't be. You'd still be feeling it. What I mean by baseline, I was like here before the video started. I ate the yellow one and went to here, and it started to come down. I ate the red one and went to here, and it started to come down. And now I'm back all the way to here. I can barely detect any heat in my mouth at all right now. So it's a super manageable pepper, nowhere near the heat of the other two, the phenotype 1 or phenotype 2. Matters not to me, they were delicious. Tasted very, very good. And the purple red did have a different flavor than the phenotype 1 or 2. No two ways about it. It was more fruity, a little bit more juicy. The thicker the wall lining, I find, the more juicy the pepper. Seems, logically that would make sense. Really, really thin walled pepper, there's not as much, you can see why that would happen. So I'm back essentially to baseline right now. So a much quicker burn, way more manageable. Like I'm telling you, that one day I've had, all of the phenotype 1s have been really, really hot, but that one day in particular, that was a hard one to manage. Like I don't ever lose control. I shouldn't say it never. I really rarely ever get to the point where I'm on the verge of freaking out. That's the only time I can remember ever, on that one video in particular, it's the only time that I can remember like running to the refrigerator to drink milk out of a carton. And I did that day. So this was far more manageable. And it's still a Warthog. So for the people that are saying, well, why is it? It's just the way peppers work. It's how it is. Yeah, I'm definitely back to baseline, but those were very, very tasty peppers. They were delicious. Matthew, Arthur, Carla, you guys are great. Thank you so much. Listen, in the description box, you're still going to see the address to Matthew Arthur. If you would like these seeds, you're not going to get seeds from the ones I just ate. I should have clarified that. Don't expect to get back the purple to red Warthog or the yellow Warthog. What you're going to get is the phenotype 1. And if you're into hot, that's the one that had me freaking out the other day. That was something. That was probably the most amazing pepper experience I've ever had. For real. I mean, I've eaten a lot of peppers, but that was the most surreal experience I've ever had. It was mind-boggling. I couldn't think. I mean, and when I tell you that my superpower is being able to communicate, it is. I promise you, there are people with way higher tolerances than me, but I'm able to describe what I'm tasting, and I'm able to describe what I'm feeling, because I don't lose composure that way. And I mean, my composure went out the window like that. That was such a hot pepper. It was ridiculous. But these were wonderful. That was the purple to red Warthog and the yellow Warthog from Matthew Arthur. I thank you guys for watching. In the description box, if you want seeds to phenotype 1, remember, don't ask for phenotype 2, don't ask for the purple, don't ask for anything. Just put your self-addressed stamp in there, and you're going to get a phenotype 1 seeds back. How many? I don't know. You'll find out when you get your envelope back. But he's sent out a whole bunch of them already. Those were wonderful tasting. One more time, Mac, Cindy, happy anniversary. I hope you have many, many, many more. And thank you for being a part of this show, Mac and Cindy. You guys are great. We're going to wrap it up now. On the bottom, you're going to see Matthew Arthur's address for if you want seeds for the Phenotype 1 right here. My son and the lifeboat up here. You're going to see all the challenges I've done and Pepperology, which is designed for new people. Terminology, how to build your tolerance, and a lot of questions that you have when you first get into chilies. You have a lot of questions. You're going to find answers to those questions in Pepperology. So go check those out. Thank you for hanging out with me. I am Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.